Now I walk in beauty, beauty is before me, beauty is behind me, above and below me.
As Unitarian Universalists, our faith is centered around our shared values. I mentioned earlier you can find those in the program in the order of service. We live out these shared values with a living tradition of wisdom and spirituality, drawn from sources as diverse as science and poetry and scripture and personal experience. One of the sources our congregation affirms and promotes is direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder, affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold. As we deepen into our service, I have some opening words. This is called As If It Were the First by the Soul Matters team, and it's built around a poem called Imaginary Conversation written by Linda Pastan. We begin today with the words of the poet, Linda Pastan. You tell me to live each day as if it were my last. But why the last, I ask? Why not live each day as if it were the first? All raw astonishment, Eve rubbing her eyes awake that first morning. May we, like Eve, shake the dullness from our eyes and be thrown to our knees by all that is offered, all that is possible, all that is waiting, for us to notice it on this astonishingly new day. So now we will join Unitarian Universalists all over the world in lighting our chalice. The chalice lighting words this morning are entitled The Door Swung Wide by Reverend Scott Taylor. We light this flame in a world where so much has grown dark. May it remind us that sparks can always be struck, and very little is inevitable. Most of it is mystery and magnificent surprise, which means new and yet to be imagined worlds always await. Which means a door has already swung wide with possibility waiting on the threshold, ready to pull us through. Today, it is my pleasure to welcome Joan P. Klein from the North Dakota Asian American Arts and Culture Initiative. Joan was born and raised in Cebu City, is that how you say it, Joan? Cebu? Cebu City, Philippines, and she moved to Salt Lake City, Utah, in the United States with her mom, dad, and brother at age 14 because her mother had a work relocation. Joan has a bachelor's degree in architecture from Woodbury University in Burbank, California. She's worked in several architecture firms in Maine, North Carolina, and North Dakota. And she, her husband, son, and daughter call Bismarck their home now. In 2022, Joan and her co-founder started a nonprofit called the North Dakota Asian American Arts and Cultural Initiative. This nonprofit is a platform for education, collaboration, and celebration for Asian American arts and culture. Their events provide an immersive experience for individuals and families in the Bismarck Mandan community and beyond. The North Dakota Asian American Arts and Cultural Initiative, that is a mouthful, is a 501c3 organization founded to provide a platform for Asians and Asian Americans living throughout the great state of North Dakota. Please help me welcome Joan Klein.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Joan Klein, and as mentioned, I was born and raised in the Philippines, and I moved to Salt Lake City, Utah, which was a complete culture shock. No beaches, no seafood, and family and friends were left behind in the Philippines. So I was able to adapt and did high school there, and when I was about junior year in high school, I wanted to do something that kind of combined math and science and art. And architecture was the direction I went to. And I went to school in Burbank, California, in a small college called Woodbury University. And from there, I moved to Portland, Maine, because the corporate office that my mom worked for was located in Portland, Maine. So I joined them after graduation. And that's where I met my husband. I work in an architecture firm. He's also in that firm. And guess where he's from? Bismarck, North Dakota. So we got married in Maine, and he got a job offer to move back. He had gone to Montana State and had moved to Maine after college. And so we moved. He asked me, do you want to move to North Dakota? I said, why not? I've moved so many places, so why not? When I moved here, I worked for an architecture engineering firm, and we basically did rural schools in North Dakota. And it was really fascinating for me because I was able to go to these different little towns in North Dakota. And, my husband was like, I was born here and I've never been to beach, or I've never been to New England. And so we built a school in Regent. I've been to Strasbourg. I've just been, different places, and it was amazing. I've discovered small towns are just really nice, friendly people. And I told my husband, I think I can move to Mott. And he goes, I don't think you can. I grew up in a huge city. Cebu is the second biggest city in the Philippines, after Manila, which is the capital. So he was like, I don't know if you can. But so, we had our son, and it was just hard to work full time, 60 hours a week with a newborn. So I put pause on architecture, and then I just wanted an architecture outlet, and also going back to my roots. So a friend of mine and I decided, why don't we do this nonprofit to connect with our culture, share it with everyone in North Dakota, and also our arts. I wanted to go back to my arts, and especially with our kids, we wanted something to share with them as they grow. And my husband is, I'm going to say this right. They're Germans from Russia. There you go. They're not just Germans, they're Germans from Russia. So half my kids are Germans from Russia and half are Filipinos. So we wanted to show them, this is your other half. And we started it in 2022, and it's been growing and growing and growing, which is amazing. The North Dakota Asian American Arts and Cultural Initiative, I say NDAACI. That's the easiest way to say it. We started, it was just my co-founder and I, and now we have 3 board members. My co-founder, unfortunately, moved to Fargo. So it's just me, and then there's Maria Gokim and Rosari Sarasvati Posh. She just got married, so. And then we have our advisory committee has grown to 8 people. All the names are going to be in our website as well. And it's just amazing. They've been helping me kind of decide what events and what how to market ourselves and our events as well. So I'm gonna just show you some pictures of what these events may look like. So that is one of our events. That was an Indonesian dance, a traditional dance brought by the Northern Plains Dance. Those are the Northern Plains Dance dancers. So there you go. So our mission is to aim to provide a platform for Asian American artistic expression and promotion of Asian American cultural heritage. And so those are co-founders. That would be Krista and then myself. And now it's our board members. And it's hard to read there. We also have our advisory committee. And so our past events, we had a board game night, which we introduced board games from Asia and then also America and kind of combined. It was just a fun event. And then we had a Japanese storytelling theme through anime and manga. And then we have our signature cultural event, Expo, which is every year in May. May is Asian American Heritage and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So that's why we have it in May, which is coming up. And then we have our Know My Culture events. And so each event is going to focus on a different country. This year we did 4 in Bismarck and then 4 in Mandan Library. So we partner with the libraries. In the past, we've done Philippines, Indonesia, China, India, Japan, Thailand, Vietnam, and South Korea. So we've tried, this our advisor committee kind of tells us which country would be fun to focus on. And then my job is to find people that from those countries living in Bismarck and Mandan and kind of connect with them and help them or, ask them to share their culture and celebrate their culture. And it's really fun because afterwards they're really, nervous and scared. And afterwards they just come to me and say, thank you. Thank you for letting me share my culture. Thank you for the curiosity that was brought up and just a fun, exciting celebration that night. So, yeah. Then we also have a kaleidoscope project, which we donated some Asian books from Asian authors to the libraries, and we have book readings about them. One was Kau Kaliak Lang. She's an author that's from Minneapolis, and she came and did a book reading at Mandan Library. And her books, her biographies, and about her family when they moved here from the Vietnam War. And it's just amazing just to hear her stories, and tears were shed. But it was just a really, really heartwarming book reading. Yeah. And then we also have, we've trying to develop more, it's called Art and Therapy, addressing generational trauma through art therapy. So it's about art and health. So we're gonna see what more we can expand through that. That was our first event to it. It was very interesting to hear, especially we had Sacred Pipe come in, and Dr. Carrie is really profound, and she has a lot of insight about generational trauma. So it was a really good event, not just about Asians, but everyone has generational trauma. So we'll see how that expands. But yeah. So I'll show you some photos. That was a board game night. Just families come in, and it was a potluck, and we had some art silent auction as well. Go ahead. Next one would be the Japanese storytelling. So we partnered with JOI, which is a Japanese Outreach Initiative. They're based from Dickinson. They have a different student come every year. And this gentleman, I had some kimonos, and I was able to show these kids how to dress them, and they didn't even want to take them off. It was a fun night. And then we have our next one, our signature events, the Cultural Expo, as I mentioned, Know My Culture, Kaleidoscope, and Art and Health. And then this is last year at a Cultural Expo, or a couple of years ago, we invited some artists, Filipino artists from the Chicago area. And one was a sculptor, and one was a watercolor artist. And they actually demonstrated how to make these amazing art pieces. And that was, part of our expo. We had an exhibit. Those are some Indian garments, and there's a Filipino, some Chinese, and And that was Know My Culture China. And that year we focused on Lunar New Year. That was the year of the dragon. So that was fun. Ting, her son, it was just a friend of a friend. My son had a music class with a Taiwanese little girl, and her mom connected me to Ting. So it's just amazing, the community. So she did a presentation about Chinese Lunar New Year. Then we had Indonesia. So Rosari Sarasvati up there. She is a teacher at Northern Plains Dance. She's actually from New York as well. She studied law, and then she decided she wanted to dance. So now she teaches dance at Northern Plains Dance, and she taught her students some Indonesian traditional dances, and they performed it at our Know My Culture. This was in Mandan. And then South Korea. So again, it was a friend of a friend. She was from South Korea, so she came and presented, and she had some amazing, beautiful garments. And my mom, the world traveler, she actually went to the Philippines for a visit and stopped at South Korea, and picked up that yellow dress for my little daughter. I have a 3-year-old, and so we had some amazing South Korean cultural items, and and of course the Philippines, which I'm from. We had some beautiful, those garments are actually made from pineapple. So they're very delicate. In the Philippines, it's so hot. So you can't really wear a suit to formal gatherings. So that's what we wear. It's they're called barong. And we had some amazing Filipino dishes as well. And those are some of the Filipinos. It's growing. A lot of the nurses and teachers have moved here. So those are some of the Filipinos that are living here in Bismarck. And then again, as I mentioned, author Kaukalia Yang came to Mandan Library and read some of her books. She also is a children's author. So she had some children's books, she had a children's reading, and it was beautiful. And then art and health, as I mentioned, using art as therapy. And we touched on addressing generational trauma through art therapy. So. And we also do some community engagements. This is Families Around the World at the Bismarck Library. And then we also do Good Neighbor Day at the Mandan Library during the summer. That gets a little too hot sometimes. I need to invest on a canopy, but it's just amazing that, you know, people come, community come, and then discover just what we are and who we represent and just celebrate with us. So, go ahead. Then we also try to connect through media and marketing. Studio 701 has been very gracious in having us. And then also KFWAR TV, of course, they're everywhere. They came to our expo and then showed us how we can market our events with them. And then, as I mentioned, we have our Cultural Expo coming up on May 30th. The BSC NEC building at the Bavinnik Room. And if you would love to volunteer, please come. Our contact information is right there. And we would just love to have you. And this is a free event. And we have performances and art booths. And but yeah. And those are the different ways of saying thank you in Asia. So if you have, is this open to questions now? Yep. Yes. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we also partnered with Winterfest this year, and we had a wonton cooking class, and we also had an immersive story time about the lunar year at the Mandan Library, and we had a beginning and ending celebration because Lunar New Year is 15 days. And I said, we can't celebrate all 15 days. So yeah, we did that January and February. Yeah.
The Lunar New Year, 15 days. So if we were in the Philippines, how would that be celebrated over a 15-day period?
So I'm not Chinese. I don't have a Chinese background, so I don't celebrate it per se, but each day represents something. I know, like, for the first day, you don't clean, so you keep all the good luck inside your house, which is kind of like my favorite day. So there's different, I guess, traditions in what you do each day. And it's funny, there was some saying that by the time the 7th day, people are just tired of being home with everybody and they're ready to go back to work. But then there's also a day where you clean the kitchen. There's a day where you clean the bathrooms. So there's different, I want to say, the gods that they represent, and that's who they try to clean for and try to respect and give credit to. And then at the end of the day, it's a lantern festival. So it's just beautiful. And it's traditionally made because a lot of the women didn't go out. It was a way to meet people. It was kind of like a Valentine's Day, I guess. And they have games, and these lanterns, they would hang riddles. And it's for kids as well, so they can read the riddles and get a prize. And of course, the red envelopes. It's funny, my friend Rosari, the teacher at Northern Plains Dance, she said that now that she's married, she doesn't get the red envelopes. She has to give the red envelopes. So it's tradition that a married person or an older person gives the red envelopes containing money to the kids or to unmarried people. So yeah.
At BSC, how else can we help? How can we participate and learn more?
Well, we do have an advisory committee if you're interested, and we also you can come to the events and enjoy yourself and just learn and eat yummy food. And just show up. I think that would be a great way to participate. All our events are in Facebook and also our website, so you can reach us there. And yeah, volunteer, market, tell everybody about us. That'll be great. We try to reach everybody. And then also our art, we have a silent auction usually at our main expo event. So we have our artists booths. I don't know if you guys know Dawn Kopp. She is, and Molly McLean. Their artworks are going to be, you don't have to be Asian. And then we have performances from, our Northern Plains dance, and we have this high school kid, Curtis. He's a great pianist. He's from Century High School. He's Filipino. He's going to play. And Boram Shern, I don't know if you know her. She's Korean. Her husband owns Noodle Zip. She has an art major. She's also going to play the piano. And Kiriko, everybody knows Kiriko, right? She has a couple of Asian instruments. She knows all the instruments, I feel like. She's amazing. So she's going to play at our expo as well. So yeah.
In the year 1972, when I was a young tweet, I bought an around-the-world airline ticket.
Oh.
And one of the first countries I went to was the Philippines. And I landed in that airport, and it was about August of 1972, and there was no building.
Wow.
It was during a period of great unrest, and the airport had been burned to the ground. So there it was, smoking and dust and just the empty steel beams. And a American who worked for Motorola saw me kind of stunned. There was this pile of luggage, and he said, "I'll help you unpack the luggage pile to find your luggage." In the conversation, found out he worked for Motorola, married to a Filipino, said, "Where are you staying?" I said, well, I usually go into the airport and there's a desk that books people. He said, "Well, let me be your booker." I said, "Come home with me and meet my Filipino wife and she'll help you." Well, the long story is I spent 6 weeks in the Philippines. They said, "You should go to a family event in Cebu City," and it was the memorial event for Cynthia's uncle. And so we were there a week, stayed in their house, and they would do the funeral part every night, and then people would come to this big house, and there would be a table that could seat 20 people, and the food was just piled high. And I did that every night for a week. Ended up going back up north on a riverboat, and on the riverboat were World War II veterans, Filipino. And they were so excited to see an American. They said, when we get to this, there's a point that we get to that we want to sing a song of honor. We are so grateful for America saving our country. And we got to that point. They had me come, and they gathered around me. We looked at the island, and they sang in tears just running down their eyes. He said, "This is where General McCarthy told us to walk to for safety." it really was a memorable 6 weeks.
No, thank you for sharing. That's great.
Started in Cebu City.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I was born and raised. Now it's changed. It's such a huge city. Buildings are everywhere. It's just the population has grown so much. Oh, and I did forget that we do have kids culture this summer. This was a collaboration of the Bismarck Library. They actually wanted to do a kids version of the Nomai culture and just to play games and eat snacks from that country. So it's about a 45-minute event. Each booth is a different game. And yeah, it's just summer, right after their story time, around 10 a.m. Yeah, it's called, we're calling it Kids Culture.
We'll extinguish the chalice with these closing words by Jan Phillips called At the Wake of the Old Way. We are attendants at the wake of the old way, and each of us, through our actions, our thoughts, our work, and our relationships, is midwifing a new world into existence. And when we come to our days with this awareness, when we fully wake up to this tremendous privilege, when we sense the oak in the acorn of our beings, then we will have the energy to move mountains and shift the tides. With this as our charge, may we return to our lives ready to make real the possibilities waiting to be born.
I give thanks to the waves upholding me. Hail the great winds urging